I have had a few requests to keep the spooky theme going until Halloween, so I have a couple of spooky videos to mix in with the regular UFO, cryptid and other mysterious topics I normally cover. If we're going to keep it creepy, then there is only one place we can really start, and that's with the Prince of Darkness himself, Mephistopheles, Beelzebub, Baphomet, or just plain old Satan. The fallen angel and ruler of hell has as many names as he does stories and evil deeds. The devil is presiding over his fiery kingdom, tormenting and torturing souls of evildoers. But on Halloween, does he get to take a break? Maybe he pops up for a look at his handiwork, and maybe claims a few extra souls as a memento of his trip. Let's take a look at some of the strangest sightings of Satan.
Smash that like button and subscribe right now.
The devil has been making trips to our realm since the earliest of days, appearing to tempt Jesus, trying to get him to break his 40-day fast in the Judean desert. Maybe he was aiming a little too high with that one, but it would seem he learned his lesson, turning his attention to regular folk like you and me from that point on. Stories of Lucifer tempting people have been the backbone of religion since the start. The evil antithesis of many religions has been hungry to find fresh souls to imprison. I want to take a look at his short vacations from the fire pit and the times he has said to have appeared to regular Joes. Here are some of the spookiest sightings of Satan. Let's jump back to the 11th century and a small Welsh village near Aberystwyth. The legends tell tale of a bridge built by the devil after he appeared to a local woman and struck the bargain that would cost her her soul. The lady and her cattle were said to be stuck on one side of the river, unable to cross and desperate to get to market. The devil appeared and offered a solution. He would construct a bridge in exchange for her soul. That soul coming from the first living thing to cross the bridge. The woman agreed and the bridge was built. The devil, now grinning, would collect his prize. The woman was, however, not that foolish. She took a loaf of bread from her bag and tossed it across the bridge. Her dog took chase and lost its soul. Satan, embarrassed at being outwitted, left, never to be seen in the area again. To this day, the nearby village is still known as Devil's Bridge. Maybe, after being outsmarted by a little old lady, the devil thought he would try his hand somewhere else. That place may have been Juarez, Mexico. In 1942, a young man in his 20s went to check out the recently arrived circus. The circus had the normal attractions, exotic animals and even more exotic dancers, clowns and a freak show. The young man was fascinated and went to see the attractions, the two-headed cow, the singing chicken and the elastic man. As was normally the case, these presentations were fake or overly exaggerated. Disappointed, the young man turned to walk away, but was stopped by a short man in a dinner jacket. This little man proclaimed himself to be the greatest illusionist that has ever walked the earth. The young man asked if he was part of the circus, to which the man replied he had auditioned for a job, but the owner turned him down because his act was so frightening. The owner even accused him of being the devil. Intrigued, the young man accepted an invitation to the illusionist trailer for an impromptu show of his skills. They entered the trailer and the man began. He held up his right hand and then proceeded to put a white glove on this right hand. He extended his arm and started running his left hand over, under and around his gloved right hand, all while closing and opening his hand and wiggling his fingers. The stranger started chanting some strange words in another language. Then, with his left hand, he grabbed the tip of the white glove, turned and looked at the man and asked him if he was ready. He said yes, and with a quick motion, the stranger removed the glove. The man screamed and stared in shock and disbelief. The gloved hand was now only bones, which the man continued to wiggle and move. The odd little magician gave him a close-up look, and it was real. Then the stranger grabbed the top of the man's head with this bony hand and said that he was now really going to show them something. Placed on the floor was a wooden plank with 6-inch long nails protruding up and looking very sharp. The stranger stood and then leapt into the air, landing right on the nails. The nails penetrating through his shoes, and blood started to flow. The young man stood there transfixed as the stranger started to laugh, pointing at the man with his bony finger. That was it. It was time to run. The young man knew that this weird illusionist was no entertainer, but indeed was the devil. The last story is from a Halloween night in 1975. The El Camaroncito nightclub, San Antonio. A handsome stranger waltzes in and turns all the women's heads. Taking to the dance floor, he's an amazing dancer. He has all the moves. Even the shyest girl in the club couldn't resist his request to join his side. But then something strange happened when they were dancing. For just a moment, these enchanted women broke out of their hypnotic trance and glanced to the floor. "Your feet, your feet," the woman dancing with the tall man screamed, tearing herself from his tight embrace. Horrified, the people in the club stared at the dance floor and saw long, skinny claws protruding from the man's trouser cuffs. No shoes, instead large, hideous chicken feet. "It's the devil," they screamed, dropping to their knees. Women began to scream and pray. The stranger then disappeared into the men's restroom, and leaving no trace except that of a strong smell of sulfur, the devil's scent. What stories have you heard regarding the devil and his little trips to our world? Do you believe that these sightings are something else, or just spooky tales for us to tell on a Halloween night? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoy what we do here on the channel, please hit that subscribe button, like and share. You can find us across social media by searching weareif. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.